Hey folks, welcome back to our video tutorials working with pages. In this video I want to show you or demonstrate how to change the header layouts specifically for the Pro packages. Let's take a look on our Dreamweaver package here for a second. We have an index page, and the index page has whatever particular header we have included as what we would call our vision of that product. In this particular case we're using the default slider. Nice big picture, fits well into the area here. But we also have this sliders folder where we've created or included all the different variations of headers or sliders that we have for our Pro package that work with this particular template. For example, we have the Parallax Slider. Well, if I were just to preview that page, let me just show you an example, because we're gonna take this Parallax Slider and swap it into our index page there. So let's just preview the Parallax Slider. Let's make it fit into our view a little bit better, and here we go. So it's kind of a header, some text, read more button, back and forth arrow, slides a picture into view, that sort of a thing. Some really cool stuff, great for advertising and great for getting attention, or it's what we call a call to action, right? A lot of folks will probably want to use this for their home page. So we want to take this component, put it into our index page, basically replacing the default slider. Let's do that. To get started, what we're going to do is go back to Dreamweaver here. Now, we've put all of your sliders into the sliders folder. Typically, when I'm making a change like this, if I'm taking a component from that's located in a sliders folder and I'm putting it into a page in the root folder, I'm going to move the page into the root folder first so that Dreamweaver updates all the links for me. Okay, I mean, you can actually copy and paste the code and whatnot, but then you have to manually update the links. It's a pain in the neck. All you need to do is drag for example, the Parallax Slider page into the root folder where the index page is. Let Dreamweaver do the updates, so you don't have to worry about manually updating links. And when I'm talking about links, I'm not just talking about links to that particular page. I'm actually talking about the images and the style sheets and whatnot that the component itself links to. We want Dreamweaver to update that for us. Super. Now I just closed down any pages I had open just so I don't get confused here. Now what I'm going to do is basically I'm just going to copy the style sheet link and I'm going to copy the component code from the Parallax Slider into the index page to replace the links that the index page has. So let's just open up both pages. And this one we're actually going to do in code view. You don't need to know HTML. We just need to know how to copy and paste. So let's do that. All right, so starting with the Parallax Slider, we're going to scroll down a little bit and we're going to locate the link to the parallaxslider.css. Basically, wherever you see the header CSS file, that's what we want to copy. Okay, it's going to start with link, library, sliders, blah, 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 blah. So copy that, go to the index page, scroll down a little bit in the index page, and you'll see a link to whatever slider we have that. For this case, it's the default slider. So just select that and then paste. Paste that Parallax Slider link right over top. Step number one done. Back to the Parallax Slider page, and we're going to scroll down a fair bit this time. We're going to go and find the Parallax Slider component. Okay, usually it's listed under primary component, but what we're looking for is somewhere where you'd have a class of Parallax Slider background, or basically what you're doing is you're looking for the library item of Parallax Slider, probably located around halfway down the page. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're just going to copy the entire container fluid and Parallax Slider background div container and everything in it. We're going to copy that, paste it into the index page over top of the default slider. To do that, we just sort of click anywhere within this div class right here so that it enables the quick tag selector down below. As a matter of fact, we're going to show our properties panel here. Okay, and then I'm just going to click on the word class, and what will happen is you see this div container fluid Parallax Slider. Yeah, click that. That's going to select the div container and all the bits and pieces inside for that Parallax Slider. Everything we need. It's going to copy it all or select it all for us. Once we have it selected, just copy it. Go to the index page, scroll on down probably about halfway as well, and we're going to find there it is, maybe not quite halfway. We're going to be looking for the primary component, and here it is, the default slider. Okay, same idea. Find the div class, container fluid, default slider background. Double click on the word class, and then look down to the quick tag selector for the same thing and click to select. Now we've already copied the code from our Parallax Slider. And now that we've selected the code in our index page, all we need to do is do an edit, paste, and that's it. We've copied the entire Parallax Slider and all the code required into our index page, replacing the default slider code that we had in there. Let's just save our index page and preview it. I'm just going to do a file save. I'm just going to jump right back to my editor. Now, did you notice, if you recall, when working with library pages or any of the components, I'll always open the page that I'm working on first, have it previewed in my browser, so that way I can just quickly do a refresh. Oh, there it is. There's the Parallax Slider now on the page. Wonderful, and it's working. Fantastic. So now that I know that it's in my index page and that it's actually working, I can go back to Dreamweaver and I can close my index page. Okay. If it wasn't working, what I would do is I would leave my Parallax Slider page and my index page open, do a few Control-Z's or Control-Z's to undo my steps, and then I'd start over again to try and figure out where I went wrong. Because it's a lot easier to undo what you've done than it is to try and open that page back up and figure out where you went wrong. 9 times out of 10, if something didn't work for you and you would close those pages down, it'd be a lot faster if you just copied in new pages from your website copy or your website original folder, a backup of some sort, and start over again than it would be to try and figure out where the things went wrong. So just a tip there that you may take advantage of.